Alrighty, reaction to the college football playoff and bowl games. The college football playoff was revealed on Sunday. To no one's surprise, Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and Notre Dame will be participants in the 2020 college football playoff. The top four remain the same for most college football playoff rankings. Even though Ohio State only played 6 games, they were still able to get in, and now they play Clemson in the Sugar Bowl after beating Northwestern in the Big Ten championship game. Clemson destroyed Notre Dame in the ACC championship game and locked in the number 2 seed. Notre Dame still got the 4th seed after winning 10 games and beating Clemson. Alabama rolled past Florida and locked in a berth to the college football playoff for the 6th time in 7 years. They also released the matchup for other bowl games. Are you surprised by the college football playoff? No, I'm not. I think a lot of people, and myself included, all thought Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, and Ohio State were getting in. I don't think there was a chance that Cincinnati got in. There was probably a bigger chance that Florida with 2 losses or LSU, not LSU, but teams like Texas A&M and Florida had a better chance than teams like Cincinnati and Coastal Carolina and Louisiana Lafayette, which I don't agree with, but that's how the committee sees it. Some of the bowl games I'm a little shocked with, but I'm not at all shocked by the college football playoff, how they did it this year, and the participants. All of those teams are big names, which helps them. Yeah, the only thing I'm really a little shocked at or a little surprised at is the matchups. I thought it was going to be Alabama versus Ohio State in the Rose Bowl or in the Sugar Bowl. Then I thought it was going to be Clemson Notre Dame in the Rose Bowl, but it's kind of the opposite. Technically, it's Alabama and Ohio State in the Rose Bowl and Clemson and Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl. That's really the only thing I'm shocked about. Why is the committee so predictable? Well, if you really look at it, the college football playoff is not, it's more of a TV show. And the reason why they wanted those 4 teams in was because they wanted more people to watch. They think if Cincinnati gets in, or Coastal Carolina, or BYU, or Louisiana Lafayette, they think people wouldn't watch as much, and they want to have the 4 big names playing in the college football playoff. And I think that's why the committee is so predictable. And, of course, they made excuses for teams like why Cincinnati wasn't in it. They also made excuses, even though Louisiana Lafayette beat Iowa State, and Iowa State was ranked 6th before the Big 12 championship game, and Louisiana Lafayette was ranked 19th. That didn't make much sense, but that's what the committee wants. They want to have the 4 biggest names in college football. I was listening to Dan Patrick show, and he was pretty much saying that this committee, they want the 4 biggest names in. They don't want a team, like I said, they don't want a team like Cincinnati, and they were thinking about putting Texas A&M in there, and even an Iowa State or Oklahoma, but they don't want the small teams in. And he also said that that's why he wants to go from 4 teams to 8 teams, because it gives them a more of a chance. If Cincinnati gets in and they get beat by 30 or 40 points, then okay, that's fine, because like they were saying, they also pulled up another stat that said anywhere between 40 to 60% of games that have been played in the college football playoff were blowouts. And it seems like Oklahoma is always that team to get blown out when they do play. But, I mean, it's so true. You're going to have at least one blowout, but at least give the teams a chance. And predictions for the championship game. I think it's already settled. I think it's going to be Alabama and Clemson part, 4? Or I guess it'd be part 4. Clemson's 2-1 against Alabama in the championship game. I don't think Notre Dame or Ohio State gets a chance. I think both Alabama and Clemson take care of business. Trevor Lawrence technically is the best player in college football. I mean, he probably would have won the Heisman if he wouldn't have missed 2 games because of COVID. You saw how good he was, and maybe, I don't know if Notre Dame was as good as people were saying they were, because they got blown out. They beat Clemson in overtime without Lawrence, but when Lawrence came back, Clemson had no problems with Notre Dame. But I do think it's Clemson, Alabama. I think it's going to be a good game. I think Clemson ends up winning, though, 41-35. Trevor Lawrence is your MVP of the game. What team was screwed over the most? I think the team was screwed over the most was Cincinnati. I mean, Cincinnati's playing the Peach Bowl. That's a decent bowl game, but I think they should at least have a chance to play in the college football playoff. They went undefeated. Yes, they play in the American Athletic Conference, but I mean, come on. Or a team like Coastal Carolina, they were, I think, was it 2-0 versus ranked opponents, and they weren't able to play their conference championship game, which I think even hurt them more. But I think those 2 teams, and even Louisiana Lafayette, was kind of screwed over. But I really think Cincinnati was, because they should have been playing a better bowl. And the Peach Bowl is a good bowl game, but I mean, I think they should have played in either the Fiesta or there's a few other bowl games, but I think they should have at least played in the Fiesta Bowl. So I'm going to say Cincinnati was screwed over the most. What other bowl games will be interesting to watch? Well, I think the Fiesta Bowl between Texas A&M and Iowa State, that's going to be interesting to watch. Um, you know, is Iowa State as good as people were saying they were? To be honest with you, I don't know if they are. They looked pretty good against Oklahoma, but then they lost to Louisiana Lafayette. They played well against Oklahoma, but at the end of the day, Oklahoma is just the better team. But I'm going to say I'm looking forward to the Fiesta Bowl between Texas A&M and Iowa State. The Sports Town Podcast, or the STP Pod for short. You can find us on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and much more. We release new episodes every Wednesday and Friday. Also, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Sports Down Podcast. If you want to check out more videos of the Sports Down Podcast, click on the left. If you want to subscribe to the channel, click on the right.